Okay, it is 6 o'clock on March 12th, 2026, and this is the regular select board meeting of the town of Underhill. My name is Patty Richards. I'm the chair, and we have Shara present, and Maureen present, Dan and Bob are not in attendance today. First on our agenda is to review the agenda for changes. Are there any changes to the agenda?
2 items to add. One is a resignation letter I received from Nate Goldman, who filled in for town meeting. And the second is a letter of support for the Chittenden County Sheriffs. It's a repeat of a letter that I drafted 2 years ago, and I've included it there with you. So it'd be just those 2 things, unless Chris has something.
I can do it under my updates, but I would like to discuss culvert purchases.
Yeah, let's do that under your update.
Yeah. And then I just have some other few updates to go
Okay.
with my updates.
And the Nate Goldman's resignation and the letter of support for the sheriff, we'll put that after the EV charging
Sure.
work there. Okay, great. All right, with those changes, the agenda is now set for the meeting. Next on our agenda is opening public comment period. There's nobody in the room in person. Is there anybody online virtually that has public comment?
Doesn't look it. Just Donna and MCTV.
All right, seeing nobody online virtually for public comment, we are done with public. So now
Somebody's popping in here. Parker Ripley just popped in.
Okay, we're on public comment, so if anybody virtually would like to say anything in the opening public comment period, we have 5 minutes designated for that, for public comment. Is there anybody who wishes to speak?
Parker, this would be your chance.
Or posting public comment.
The only thing I got is I'd just like to thank Russ and the road crew for everything they've been doing. Did a great
Parker,
job
can
today.
you identify your full name?
Hold on 1 second. Let me just go somewhere which is a little quieter. Parker Ripley from Mullen Road.
Okay, go ahead, Parker. Thank you for joining us.
I just want to thank Russ and the road crew for all they've been doing and the great job they did on Poker Hill and made quick work of that job today.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
expressing that, and thank you, Russ and crew, for all you guys do every day.
Absolutely.
Okay, anybody else in virtual land for public comment? Okay, seeing none, we are closing public comment, and let's now move to highway supervisor update. Russ, you're on.
Thank you. So first of all, I'd just like to congratulate you both for being reelected to the board, and look forward to working with you all again.
Stuck with us.
Yeah.
Years now.
I'm happy with that. And just again, a thanks to your support for everything we put on the town meeting ballot and the tools that we need to do our jobs efficiently and safely. And we're very excited about how that went, and we're looking forward to moving forward with those pieces of equipment. So
Excellent.
really a good boost for the guys, and they're excited and looking forward to it. Something I wanted to bring up a while back, but just haven't been at the meetings or we haven't had the time, but we found we've been paying a federal excise tax on our fuel. And I questioned it a while back, and they said, no, you don't pay state tax, but you do pay this. And then while watching a select board meeting, I saw on their agenda was to sign forms to get reimbursed for this tax. So I did a little talking with Brad and Jennifer, and we looked into it, and come to find out we should be able to get reimbursed for this tax. And we're talking about $4,000 a year
Oh, wow.
that we
That's
pay for this
significant.
tax on our fuel. So talking with our fuel supplier back and forth, they said, well, I think we can just put a different code on your account and not charge you for that tax. I'm like, that would be wonderful. So that has been done.
Wow,
It's been,
okay.
what,
Excellent.
6 weeks or so, maybe
Yeah.
4.
Couple months.
Yeah. So then it's not on our invoices, so that's a great thing. And Jennifer worked up the last 3 years of all of our fuel. And they claim we can possibly get reimbursed for the last 3 years. So she put a packet together and submitted it to the government, and
Nice.
the federal tax. So hopefully we'll be getting about a $12,000 refund, hopefully.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees, I think, but we've definitely done the homework and submitted it. So I'd like to thank Brad and Jennifer for the help with that to help save us some money. And
Well, you wouldn't have caught it unless you're watching other select. boards,
Yeah.
right?
Great hobby. Keep it up.
Yeah, that was a great fund.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
So mud season update. We started last Friday with a little issue and I got a little nervous and thought the weekend was going to be rough, but it turned out we had one spot on Pine Ridge that we put a couple loads of stone in. We hauled in some more stone to have it on hand. But everything is okay at the moment. We did have that problem this morning, which we did replace the culvert up on Poker Hill. There's a few other spots that looks like we might be having the same issues, so it's kind of monitoring things and keeping an eye on things. But overall, we're in pretty good shape for mud season so far, but we still got plenty of time. And again, I say it a lot, and I just want to say it again, but the road crew really stepped up this morning. We got the phone call about 7 o'clock, well, after 7, and we loaded the excavator and we had the culverts, thank God, and went right to work. And we just finished up about 5 o'clock and
Wow.
road was back open. But it was a 60-foot culvert, about 3 feet of frost, so it was tough digging.
Mhm.
But guys pulled together and we got it done and came out nice. We're gonna trim it up tomorrow, finish it up, but
Mhm.
it's all good. So great job to those guys.
It's a big day.
It was a big day.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
We do have a section on upgrading the settlement that's kind of falling apart. We're gonna do a little work up there tomorrow after we finish up the culvert to try to patch that up. That's gonna need some pretty significant work up there with ditching and trees, and there's 3 culverts that need to be replaced up there. So that's gonna be on the agenda here coming up. So that just brings me to the discussion of culverts. So we do have a few culverts in stock, which we wanted to get last fall to have them in the winter. But it looks like we're gonna be using those, and I know we tend to try to get this on the agenda and so far, but I was able to get pricing from the farmyard store, which we've been getting our culverts from, and Johnson Hardware.
Mhm.
And Johnson seemed to sharpen their pencil up a little bit better this year. So we have a little over 37,000 in our culvert line in the budget. We would like to order 10 18-inch culverts and 10 24-inch culverts with the proper banding to put them together. It usually takes at least 2 to do a job.
Mhm.
And today it took 3, but in most cases it's 2. So that total for 10 of each with the bands that hold them together is $28,026.92. I would like to get those ordered in so we have them, because I think we're going to be finding a lot of other culverts that are, and that'll get us into the summer.
So you got 2 quotes, one
2
from
quotes.
Johnson Farming Yard and
The farmyard store
The
in
farm yard
Derby,
store.
where we've been getting them probably the last 2 or 3 rounds.
okay. Do we have time to put it in the packet so we can all see it, or are you looking to,
I'd like to get them because I don't want to get to a point where we don't
what do
have,
we have in inventory now?
we have some. We have 3 24s and we have 5 18s. But like I said, usually takes 2 per job. So like if we get up to our Upper English and there's 6 right there, we've got 5. So,
And I don't want to impede progress.
Right.
Done before once.
The thing also to keep in mind is, May is flood time. So,
Mhm.
and if a disaster did happen, you don't have anything on hand, the inventory goes
And then
quick.
poof, it just
Yeah.
goes.
Right.
And I'm a proponent, I'll just stick it for us. I think that I would encourage him to use his entire line and max it out. And, then you've got them all. and
They're not
then
gonna
It's
go to
not like- I was
waste.
just gonna say that, they're not gonna go bad.
They're corrugated metal, they sit in the yard.
We have the room for them.
Mm.
I would recommend that he maxes out his line and whatever he thinks he needs. And
Just,
get 'em.
just in terms of transparency, I'm gonna follow Bob's chain of process here. It's critical to get the stuff in the packet, so we're being as transparent as possible. So if we can wait for 2 weeks,
We can. If we need culverts, we just may have to go get them. That's the only thing, and that just takes time.
Alternatively,
What
you
are
have
your-
the quotes with them, right?
what are your two, can you
I don't have,
officially read
right,
them?
I didn't bring them with me, but I did get the numbers from them. I have them at the garage. And I compared the two of them, and Johnson was less. We have gotten culverts from FW Webb. They're very difficult to do business with. It's just not fun.
Their price is high
Usually,
Mhm.
we have gotten some from them. Before I started, they had got some from them. And that's really, there's not a lot of close by options.
Okay. Let's read them into the record, so we're being transparent. And then for the next time, I'm gonna be a stickler on this.
Fine with that. I just,
Next time, I'm gonna push you and say, unless it's an emergency, push it to the next meeting. I wanna follow that same approach that Bob laid out, so that we're crystal clear in our purchasing, that we've done the bidding process, and we don't get criticized for missing a step.
but I do have them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you read them into the record.
I have the total from Johnson for the 10 of each in the bands, which is $28,026.92.
Okay.
If we go, like Brad's saying, which I do agree with him as well, that we ought to be having them on hand. Not that we can't buy more in a month or two.
What is it, number 28?
$28,026.92 from Johnson Hardware.
Okay,
Did you have the number of what the amount was for?
Each culvert was about, I think, like say $40 to $50 more
Oh, okay, from the
from
barn,
the farmyard store.
farmyard store.
So they were a little bit more, they were close, but
do you have a total number?
from the farmyard
Farmyard?
store, I do not. Not with me here. I have it on my desk.
So it's getting confusing, so I want this to be in the record.
Okay, I'll try to make it as clear as possible.
Okay.
So I got prices from
Two
the
vendors.
farmyard store and Johnson Hardware.
Okay,
Johnson Hardware, if I took 10 of each culvert plus the corresponding bands that hold them together, it was $28,026
in 92 cents.
and 92 cents. Looking at comparing them to the farmyard store, each culvert was roughly $40 to $50 more than Johnson Hardware. Per culvert. Per
So
culvert.
400 to 500 more. If we're doing 10.
Actually, we would be doing 20. So it's 20 culverts. So it was 10,
800.
10 18-inch and 10 24-inch. We also use 36-inch, but we have a good supply of 36.
Okay, that was gonna be my question when you were saying buy a lot, was what, is there any limitation if we buy a whole bunch, but we need more that are different sizes?
It might be safe to do what we're doing with 10 of each and then hang on to that little bit remainder if we get, say we get a 4-footer that we need to do.
Yeah,
Something like that, and then save that until
a little bit of a cushion.
the end of budget time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the reality is you could go up to a road next week and use all the culverts you have
Exactly,
in place, so.
exactly. And it's the season.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put a motion on the table that we approve the quote for culverts from Johnson Farming Yard, right? Up to 29,000, just gonna round it off. Because it was cheaper than the corresponding quote from
Farmyard.
Farmyard Store by roughly 800 to 1,000 less expensive. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Assuming these are the same gauge culvert, same
16
culverts, they all come from the same place probably. I'm assuming, yeah.
And Russ, if you're feeling like, maybe we should stock up on the rest, get it for the others, and we'll approve those in the next few weeks.
Fair enough.
Any further discussion?
If we could maybe I think, maybe for the next meeting, we could just have that quote in the packet. So just, it's like a part of the record, even if it's after the fact. I think that'd be great.
That's good.
I can do that.
Awesome.
Great. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. Okay. Anything else, Russ?
I think Bob said it, or maybe Brad did at the last meeting, salt is now back in inventory, and we do have plenty of salt right now.
Okay, good.
Right before the snow comes back.
Right. Hopefully we won't need too much more.
Yeah,
We do have,
exactly.
we do have quite a bit.
But seriously, well done. It was in the news, town's running
Right.
out. Well done.
Mhm.
Yeah, we maintained our roads well and you didn't run us out. Well
Well,
done.
Scott is extremely good with his planning, and we did mix a little sand with, when we were really low,
Yeah,
to try to spread it out a little better, and he's very frugal with the salt usage, so he does a great job.
And yet, we hear time and we experience, our roads are really pretty darn good for whatever the temperature is.
Kudos to Scott.
exactly. Kudos to Scott, all the crew. They all work hard.
But that's all, unless anybody has any questions for,
But the great work
Mhm.
and great job on that tax fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Let's hope it
huge.
works out.
Yeah.
it's working out.
But even to just,
It's
if
even
we don't
right
get the
now,
reimbursement,
It's
yeah.
moving forward, it's working out. Whether
Yeah.
we get
The past.
the past,
Great
you know, the
find.
past 3 years, I think it'll be a bonus for us.
I like your entertainment choice.
Yes.
It's really good. It's a real benefit to
That's
the
exactly what I was
I usually
thinking.
fast forward to the road foreman. It's neat because I know a lot of these guys from my past work, and
Exactly.
they're all dealing with the same things we're dealing with.
Yeah, it's nice to hear what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
But if you'd like, pack up and go home and get some sleep.
It's a long day.
I'm pretty good. I'd like to,
Right.
I'll stick around for a few minutes.
Okay, let's
Thank
keep
you.
moving on so we can stay on schedule. So next is board, committees, commissions, animal control, and tree board appointments.
Oh, wait, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
So today, during our culvert repair, what helped us get through the day, Bob brought us a pizza and soda
Oh, so-
at lunchtime, which was
Nice,
great. It was
Bob.
still warm.
Aw.
He picked it up in Fairfax, brought it to us. That was very nice. And Parker, who just came on, he was home today with his son who was sick. And they made chocolate chip cookies for us. and brought them
Very nice.
down to us, and they were still warm out of the oven. So
Aw,
That's
that-
fabulous.
those two things really helped us get.
That's
Oh.
really nice.
That
Well
was-
done, both of those guys.
Yeah.
Bob's always good like that.
Thoughtful. Okay, now we'll go to the board committees. So we have several committees, and I'm gonna take these one at a time. I'm gonna move to reappoint the following development review board members. Karen McKnight for a 3-year term, Greg Leach for 3 years, Greg Hamlin as alternate for 1 year, and Penny Miller alternate for 1 year. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion.
I think it was Mark Hammond, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Mark.
Yep.
I want to thank all of the folks that are on the development review board for volunteering and doing the hard work that they do.
Yes.
Just really, this can't run the town without all their work.
Very
So I wanna
crucial
thank them all.
service.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the development review board members, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. The next is the planning commission. I move to reappoint the following planning commission members. Tim Frost for 4 years, David Edson for 4 years. I'd also like to note that Jennifer Deo is stepping down from the planning commission. Thank you, Jennifer, for your service. All right, so I'm gonna make the motions on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Again, I want to thank the planning commission members for their hard work.
Mhm.
We can't do it without them.
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor of Tim and David for 4-year terms for planning commission, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. There are no reappointments for the Conservation Commission, but we'd like to recognize Betsy Chapik, who is stepping down from the Conservation Commission. Thank you, Betsy, for all your years of service.
Yes,
and
thank
all
you to
that you do.
Betsy.
Thank you, Betsy. Okay, next is I'd like to move to reappoint Michael Ullman for a term of 3 years to the Energy Committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I'd like to make one note. Dwight DeCoster is stepping down from the Energy Committee. Thank you, Dwight, for all your years of service. Again, we can't do all the work without these volunteers. Much appreciated. Okay, all those in favor, or any more discussion? All those in favor of Michael Ullman for a 3-year term, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. Next, I'd like to move to reappoint Emily Soyson, for a term of 3 years to the Recreation Committee. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I'd like to make a note that Lynn Kemp is stepping down from the Recreation Committee. Thank you, Lynn, for all of your years of service to the Recreation Committee. You're very active and productive at the Recreation Committee.
Absolutely.
Any other discussion or comments? All those in favor to appoint Emily, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. Next, I move to reappoint Jennifer Soapy Katz as Animal Control Officer for a term of 1 year. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion?
Just thank you to Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer.
She does a great job.
It's a big lift, and
Yeah.
She does it.
people always think I'm the animal control of the dog box. Nope, that's Jen. That's Jen, not me.
Just a quick funny thing. We were talking yesterday in the car with my wife and my son, talking about dog licenses. They saw the sign, or my son saw the sign. And he says, "What about that lady on Pleasant Valley's got all those dogs? Does she have to license all those dogs?"
Yes.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure she does, especially being on the select board.
Exactly. Greg comes in and parks her butt over here on Sherry's desk and they fill out all the paperwork.
That was funny.
If I see that revenue stream, I know when most of it comes. Okay, next is.
Wait, I don't think we voted on it.
No, oops, thank you. Thank you for catching that.
It's okay.
Okay, all those in favor of Jennifer as animal control, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. Next is I move to reappoint Don Toby as the tree warden for a 1-year term. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
The only thing I note is Don mentioned that you guys wanted to keep track of his hours a little bit, so he's roughly at 28 hours since September, when I think you award him the stipend. No, that wasn't September. That was, well, maybe it was.
I think it was Walsh.
Yeah. So anyway, it's about what he's got into it, and yeah, continue to keep marking trees and doing his thing.
We appreciate it. He does a great job.
And those.
We're lucky to have him.
Okay, all those in favor of Don Toby as tree warden, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. Okay. Thank you for all of our great volunteers for committees and
Yes.
positions. Next, we are on now to review the 2026 rules of procedure with corrections, additions, adopted March 4th, 2026.
I just stuck it in your packet so you get a look at the changes, and I think, I'm pretty sure I caught everything. Changed the third location of the food sharing shed, made sure it says 7 days. As our paper circulation, and put the deadline for all select board agendas to be Friday at noon.
Great. So we already voted on this. We don't.
Yeah,
need to
we did.
take
You just
action.
suggested that I add it to the packet
Yes.
this time,
Exactly.
so you could just look at it, but I do have a copy. If you three want to sign it, then Dan and Bob can sign it when they can.
Okay, we'll do that at the end.
Sounds good.
Any comments regarding the draft in our packet?
No, looks good.
I didn't see any either. Thank you very much for adding that.
Yeah.
Okay, next is the EV charging site host engagement.
Yeah, so I got this, got a couple of correspondence about that. So V-Trans is looking for, V-Trans is looking for hosts for these EV charging sites. It can be a private individual or it could be the municipality. Requirements is sites located further than 3 miles from these highways, and they listed like, interstates and then key state highways like Route 2, Route 7, Route 9. I would consider Route 15 a major state highway. So I believe we would fall into that category, especially being on the valley. The catch is the minimum of 4 ports required, and there's a picture in your packet.
Mhm.
Looks like a town office. I don't know if that's Randolph. They've got 4 stations. I know Bob would like to be part of this conversation, but I don't know if we should send out a front porch forum post and let people know that this is available. I don't know if the fire department would want to participate, or possibly like Chamberlain's at the farm stand, or.
It's a minimum of 4.
Yes.
And so it's like, as pictured, where all 4 have to be together, or 4 within like,
Well, it's a good question. I can learn a little bit more of that, but that's a good question.
4 within the town.
right?
Because I was thinking over at the historic society building, the old
Mhm.
schoolhouse. But you chew up parking spaces
Yes.
because they get reserved for EVs. And if there were 4, that would be a bummer.
So it says here, each location must provide space for a minimum of 4 charging ports. This typically requires about 5 parking spaces with an area nearby for electrical infrastructure. Again, this is a federal grant.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a little too big for us.
Has the energy committee
No,
reviewed this at all?
I'm sure they're aware of it, but I'll
Yeah.
forward it to Michael Amon.
Mhm.
I think we do have to be careful, especially given the incident that happened in Williston last night. 4 buses burned to the ground.
Yeah.
The electric.
Three or
Electric
four
buses.
electric buses.
Yes.
Yeah, and luckily the fire department was on it and saved the building. So I think Bob's big thing is like, if we're gonna have any ports, they shouldn't be near any of these old buildings.
Yes.
It should be separate. The
Right.
town pond might be possible,
Up to my head.
because it is kind of off the beaten path, but it's a recreation area. But I'm not sure how that would work in the winter.
Wonder if Casey's Hill parking,
What's that?
the Casey's Hill parking lot.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah, it'd be
But-
another.
We're already strapped for parking there.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, just 2 nights a week in the winter.
I think
Then
you
we're
want
strapped
to be
for
careful about, we like to put it down there. So is that that's a beautiful spot in Underhill.
That's true.
You want charging
Exactly.
stations.
I know.
And it would require permission from the land trust and everybody else. So
Uh,
It's probably, this is too big of a thing for the town of Underhill.
I think the 4 spots together is that amount of space, I feel like seems like it would be a real challenge to find a good spot for that.
I can
And
try to
I'm
find-
wondering about Underhill State Park, but that's also out of our jurisdiction.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with us.
Mhm.
And again, you need to have
It's snowing.
the infrastructure available too.
No, sorry, never mind.
I'm not sure if these are rapid chargers. If they are rapid chargers, I think that requires 3-phase, I believe.
That's a good question.
I think it does. That's the main reason you don't see a lot of rapid chargers. They, I think a lot of the park and rides, they were trying to bring in 3-phase to these lots. So I can find out a little more information and I'll forward this off to the Energy Committee.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent suggestion to go over to the Energy Committee with it and have them chew on it and see what they
It's
think.
like, there might be there, but it feels like it's not something that we are in a position to take action on.
Oh, no, this is more informational than anything else. It's not.
And
didn't
Bob,
know.
and I would definitely like to hear, I'd like to hear from Bob in terms of safety concerns relative to the lithium batteries. Once they catch on fire, it's very difficult to put them out.
I heard it
But they-
requires 8,000 gallons of water to put out a car fire.
Wow.
What about the United, the Universalist Church, the development in back? It's not Harvest Run, it's.
Oh, the,
Sunrise Crossing.
right.
I
What
certainly
about
could forward-
charging station there?
I could pass this off to the church. And again, you know, you've got a lot of really historic buildings,
You
like
do?
in the parking lot area of, maybe the parking lot of the church might be a place. I don't know, but I could pass it off to them as
Sure, the
well.
church might be able to do that.
Yeah, against the
But
far
I'll switch
side.
my hat to being on the church committee
Right.
versus being on the select board.
So if you went to the far side
Yeah.
of the parking lot,
Right,
that's a
not too close to the
possibility.
parsonage or the church.
Yeah,
But for those the new
But, yeah.
buildings going in there
That's true.
to have.
That might be.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there's no room for that infrastructure there in this particular,
Mhm.
in that development. But that's not to say that, I'll forward it off to the church and the energy committee. I just thought I'd pass it along.
Mhm.
So then you want to,
Okay, so next we'll do the Nate Goldman resignation.
yeah, so I put in your, right there, and I printed it off because it wasn't in the packet. I received it as soon as the packet left, but there's no real action to take except for accept his resignation. The big thing is we need to post this notice of vacancy and have that.
Mhm.
So basically, it's a statutory thing that's saying that we've received the resignation from the town moderator effective today. And then explain or make people aware of their rights. I don't think anybody's gonna be knocking down the door, and Dan Mance is willing to step back in if you wanted to appoint him. So I said in this notice, I said that you would be making an appointment to fill the vacancy at the meeting on March 26th.
Okay, that's
So
great.
it's really no action, it's just to accept the resignation and to authorize Patty to sign the notice of vacancy.
Okay, so I'll accept Nate's resignation. And I also want to thank him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just, he did a great job for town meeting day and handled it
Mhm.
just super well.
I thought so too.
He did a great job.
We're lucky to have him.
Appreciate.
So the protocols, we accept the resignation. We don't have to vote on that, or do we?
No, just accept the,
Right,
Mhm.
resignation is
resignation.
accepted and note in the record, great appreciation for Nate stepping in for Dan.
Yes.
And go ahead and post the notice of vacancy.
yeah, you just have to sign that and I'll post it tomorrow. The second thing is, 2 years ago, I wrote the sheriff asked to write a letter of support. They'd like to, their radios are really outdated. And there's a federal grant that they applied for, and I guess they're available to reapply for the same grant again. Maybe they didn't expend all the funds. So I included, there's a letter of support I wrote. If you want to just take a minute and read it, but as I said, the sheriff department has proven to be a valuable partner with the town. Their agency supports the town when we have extreme weather events, provides traffic safety enforcement on a weekly basis, not only in Underhill, but neighboring communities. Then I just explained briefly in the beginning about how topographically challenged
Mhm.
the town is and how communications can be difficult. Russ can attest to that.
Absolutely.
And I've talked to Brian too, that patrols here, and yeah, there's plenty of times if he's way out in the valley, he can't
Mhm.
communicate with his office. So they don't want anything from us, they're just a letter of support.
This, yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
Nice, a nice letter.
Yes,
Yeah.
well done.
Mhm.
You don't need action, just,
No, I just wanted to pass it by. I did,
okay. Yep,
I
that
think
makes,
with Bob the last time we did it.
that makes complete sense and totally support the grant process and Peter Welsh's office.
Mhm.
Okay, next on our agenda is to discuss future agenda items, also called out as parking lot. I assume that's what that item is the parking lot.
What's that?
Our next item on the agenda is to discuss future agenda items.
Yeah, like, what do you want to accomplish this year? What do we want to, what do we want to do? I've written a few down that came to mind. The land use regulations are one that we're gonna have to, or you're gonna have to address.
Yes.
And if you want to just go into a little bit detail on that, I spoke with Larry today. And I've spoken with Patty about it, and I've also spoken with Bob about it before. So back in your packet, I think in November, maybe it was, there was a first round of basically 4 items, and one of which was the wood processor situation. So in talking with Larry, it would probably make sense to take that first packet, extract the wood processing from it, and deal with that separately. So he's willing to pop into a meeting next week or next 2 weeks from now and explain, just if you have any questions. The summary is really good. It's only 12 pages long, but I asked him to pull out the wood processing part, so you're just concentrating on one thing at a time. So he'll do that. He'll have the wood processing separately, and then they're currently working on another round. A lot of these are, so it's mostly having to do with falling in line with state statute. So that's one group of changes. And the other group is more substantive or policy, rule changes. And then the other groups are just to like correct typos and things that were just wrong. So I think we broke them into 3 categories. I think he could be available at the next 3 meetings to discuss those. And then we could set a date for a hearing, if everybody's comfortable, set a date for a hearing. Listen, and we basically do it in 2 batches. You could do, all the other things except for the wood processing, and then isolate the wood processing, because I think there's going to be a lot of input on that. So we'd set those hearings, and then basically at the following meeting, after you've heard from the public, you can choose to adopt or to do changes. If any changes are substantive, then it has to go back to the planning commission for another round again.
Okay.
So my recollection when we first got that packet, and I went back to the October packet, that's when the first chunk of that hit, it was voluminous. So what I'd like to do is break it up into more bite-sized pieces so that when we sit down to review our packet, we're not surprised with, oh my God, this is going to take me 5 hours to read this. So when Larry comes next week to go through what we have to look at, I want to plant that seed that he has that in mind. The select board, we can go through all the proposed changes in chunks and pieces. We can do that over 3-4 meetings, 5, whatever. And then we hold public hearings later on, once we've digested everything. But I'd like to do this in incremental waves so that the packet doesn't become overwhelming and
I
you
think
can't digest it.
I think 3 would be sufficient, because there's a lot of wording there, and then he includes the physical regs but I think basically if you read the explanation, like the first batch was like 12 pages, but if you take out the wood processing, it's going to whittle it down to half of that.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to be super mindful of the fact that it's hard to be surprised. So like I don't read the packet usually until Thursday.
Yeah.
And if I've allotted an hour or 2 hours and I don't have that, then I'm just not prepared.
Yeah,
And then what happens is, if we get into the meeting, we're not prepared, we're gonna end up punting that
Mhm.
to another meeting.
which is okay too.
Yeah.
I think,
I just want to be mindful
yeah,
and respectful of everyone's time.
and also I think if you allot half hour for that item at each meeting, if that's sufficient, or if you want to do less than that, but I think if you have it ahead of time, of course, you've had this one packet for quite some time,
Mhm.
but if you wanted to just, get it out to you as soon as possible, and if you had a free moment to read it, a lot of it's too, you're not used to reading these land use regs
Right.
like we are. And all the changes seem very straightforward, and I think Maya has reviewed all of them, and she's in favor. And like I said, a lot of them are really to just put us in line with state statute.
Mhm.
So I don't think there's any real discussion on some of these. The wood processing.
But
is
that's
a
really
different
helpful.
story.
Package it, this
Yeah.
batch gets us in confirmation with state
Right,
statute,
right.
and then just send a batch.
This batch is correcting mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
errors.
Yeah.
Like, that's one meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next meeting, do whatever we're
Yeah.
changing, for the planning
Mhm.
commission, if it's changing the accessory dwelling units or the rec trail language, that we can concentrate on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I think we'll try to pare it down as much as we can. I think we could do it in 3, but if it looks like too much, we can split it to 4. Of course, that's 2 months, and then a hearing, it'd be 3 months, and then adoption. Some of these changes really need to happen, and we'll prioritize the ones.
Yeah.
But again, if we're going to do it in this method
Does
and wait to
every,
the
oh,
end to
sorry.
hold the hearing,
Does every change require a hearing?
no. So like I said, I think we group
Sorry.
I think we group everything up together in the hearing
Oh, okay.
for the
Everything
changes
except for
except the wood processing.
Got it, okay.
So you'd have one separate hearing for the wood processing, one separate hearing for all the other.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
then, the DRV has been here. They were all here for the hearing the planning commission had. Maya's reviewed them. Maya's more than happy to write a letter of recommendation too. I think it's important to kind of use, these guys live and breathe it all the time.
Mhm.
And I think it's wise to, to follow their lead. But certainly you won't be able to understand it too.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. And, we don't need to debate each item now. Just,
Right.
this is really an item to set up for what things we're going to be tackling this
Mhm.
this upcoming year.
so we'll start next week or next meeting
Okay.
with, trimmed down group of rule changes.
Okay.
So that's land use regs. I have the Mountain Road gate policy. We need to deal with that. We also need to finalize the local emergency plan. That always happens after town meeting. We'll need to think about who wants to be the emergency management director. See who wants to do that, and then assign these roles. So I'll start working on that document,
Okay.
get it prepared. So it may take a couple meetings to just go through it, but we'll do that. You've all seen it before, so we've done it. We do it every year. The other is ordinances and policies. We certainly need to tune up, especially given the fact what happened in Essex with the man that was killed by the dog. You heard about that?
Yes.
No.
So that was very, I've been following it. I have a whole folder already built for it. But I think we need to take a strong look. Jennifer feels we need to take a strong look at our animal control policy. I'll just briefly describe what happened. This person had a really large pit bull dog in the house. In January sometime, it had bit a household member pretty badly. And then in February, and then later in January, Dr. Joe Haddock, I don't know if you know him, but he's from Essex. So Joe's retired and he was delivering Meals on Wheels to the house. The dog came out the door and did him brutally. He tried to drive himself to the hospital, got lightheaded, pulled off the road. Ambulance came. It was the worst bite, he said, that he's ever seen on a human being. He said if it was a younger person or a smaller person, it would have been fatal. It was a level 5 bite. So there's only 6 levels. 6 is death. It was the highest level bite you could have. And he requested the select board to have a hearing, a vicious dog hearing.
Yeah.
They held the hearing. They had recommendations from animal behaviorists. And they said, you know, I think it was something to do with their ordinance that didn't allow them to euthanize a dog.
Weird.
So that's what is concerning, because it could happen anywhere. And the select board instead set all these parameters, like had to have double protection, had to be muzzled if it was outside, it had to be posting signs all around the property, all of these things, which they apparently complied with. So the dog did not get euthanized, and then the other day on March 11th, it bit and killed a family member in the house.
Oh, jeez.
So pretty serious stuff. So animal control policy, we've got our nuisance ordinance that we wanted to look at. Maureen and I were kind of working on that at one time. So maybe it'd be good to just breeze through a stop sign ordinance that Russ wanted to get finished. So we've got some of that. Another thing that's going to eat some time up is United Church grant. When we get close to sub-grant agreement time, we're gonna have to hold some hearings and go through that same process that we did with the planning grant, which is a lot more extensive. Class 4 roads, some certain things we can look at there. Those are just a few items, but if you had some others that came to mind, I'm happy to write them down.
Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Town garage assessment and next steps.
Yep.
We're working on that. Yep.
Front
Okay.
porch forum posts. These are lists I've just kept. I throw stuff on this when we've had meetings. I don't think that's for us. The Article 11, apartheid-free community, and the Declaration of Inclusion policy. My comment is how intermingle and what are the next steps for the apartheid-free community. Side, we don't need to debate or discuss. I just want to put these on a parking lot. Sidewalk project. This building renovations. The healthcare and employee sharing of costs committee. And that's it. Have the policy for the. So I had policy approval for rec committee. There was a confusing request for approval of the turkey trot. And I would like to propose a policy for the rec committee that once it is approved, an activity is approved, that activity doesn't have to come back unless there's a significant change, material change to that activity. I'd like to do a policy for them so they have clarity in terms of what they have to come to us for. Just be mindful of their time because they do a lot for us.
Yeah.
That was my
I think
next.
that's a good call.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned a lot of the things. One of the other ones was the sidewalk in the flats, I think.
Well, we still have some issues there.
Okay,
Yeah, we should get these standing things back on that I had before because
Yeah.
of the budget season.
Yes, so,
So like the Butler Road is another
oh yeah,
one.
Butler Road, yep.
Turnaround,
Um,
and the flat sidewalk. And we wanted speed sign data like on a quarterly basis.
Oh, mhm. This is one where I'm not sure that it's specifically just the select board's business, or if it's a matter where we could like be in consultation with the fire department. We're just thinking about with Jericho as well, sort of long-term sustainability and thinking about their funding and staffing concerns moving forward. There had been some conversation, I think, at our last budget meeting around like there was a different staffing model that would work. But it's a really big budget, and I want to make sure that if there's a way that we can be thinking sustainably long-term about kind of keeping that resource as functional as possible.
That's right.
Mhm.
They brought up the municipal structure for the fire department.
Right.
Like, that's an interesting concept.
Mhm.
And I think to do that, we just have to keep asking, you know, are we gonna explore that? Are they gonna explore it?
I think those are my parking lot items.
Cool. Brad, could we do like a table of what do you call a parking lot or agenda? And we're used to doing parking lot for some other
Yeah, I've
committees.
never heard of that, so.
The parking lot is just, you throw something, like you can discuss it at a meeting, or not discuss, you bring up an idea at a meeting and say, okay, that's a great item for the parking lot. You throw it on the parking lot and it stays there until a future meeting. You don't address it. It
Just
just
like, this is a thing that should be dealt with. We can't do it right now, but like, we
Right.
don't want to lose track of it as like an item of concern.
It's not an action item. but-
Right.
It's not an action for that meeting, but it's something to keep track of. And like at the Vermont Community Broadband Board, we have a giant table of parking lot items. And we revisit it at every meeting we go through the parking lot. I don't know if I'd want to do that every meeting, but
Yeah, that
it's a
could be,
great way, but it's a great way to keep track of stuff.
Do you keep that list, like is every agenda,
It's
is
in
it
our
attached
packet.
to the
It's in our packet
agenda? Okay,
every month, it's in our packet.
You could always pick 2 or 3 things off that parking lot list to put onto the next agenda.
right.
But would it be feasible just to create a table?
Sure.
With this thing, we just keep it in the packet?
Yeah, that's fine.
don't-
We can add to
We
it.
don't, exactly. So when we deal with something, just wrote dealt with at such and such a meeting,
Mhm.
and it goes to a different color and it's off.
I also think as a matter of public record, it's helpful for the residents to know that like we're, right, like the benefits thing, the sidewalk projects, like, right, like
There's a
people
lot
hear about
going on.
stuff, like there's a lot going on, but like we are not, like we're keeping track of this. We're trying to like make forward progress on a lot of fronts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just a table, and
Yeah.
I can share with you the Vermont Community Broadband Board.
Yeah, that'd be
One.
great.
I'll send it your way, and you can take a look at it. It's just, we keep it in the packet. It's a placeholder to keep track of it.
Sure. I've got no problem with that.
Cool.
And then, when we get on to working on these things, I can, add them as action items to
Mhm.
the
Exactly.
agenda, and then when we close one, we close it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So-
It feels so good.
It does feel good.
So just keep in mind that, so I'm off next week,
Good.
and typically the packet would be ready to go Friday, and I'm not gonna be here Friday. So, I'll do the best I can to get the agenda as full as I can, but going forward, look for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, right, right.
So,
That's good.
I just can't, I really don't wanna come in, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fly in on Saturday,
you're
but I
not-
wanna come in
no,
on
no,
Saturday,
no.
Sunday and really work.
No,
No, you're
absolutely
not
not,
allowed
no.
to do town work.
No,
You're on vacation.
But we'll get
just
back
stay
on
in airplane
track.
mode all week.
Exactly.
Okay. But I will make sure that Larry's here for the first thing.
Okay.
and,
Appreciate that.
And whatever, can provide like a summary. Maybe I'll pick some of these things that are, I'll just put together like I do before budget season, I had a town administrator updates. And I'll pick a few of these things and just let you know where we're at with some of these things. And,
Perfect.
I think discussing local emergency management plan would be good to get started because it can take several meetings to get that, at least get that in there. And then and I'll take a stab at the gate policy if I can.
Excellent.
We have a policy for working within the right of way.
Yeah, we have a permit that's required. Yeah.
No, for the town highway department to work within the right of way of the roads. Is there a written policy on what we can do within our right of way?
No policy, but state statute governs that.
I'm just wondering, you know, in most places we're okay, but we get into situations where like, oh, well, we like this tree and the tree's in the ditch and we need to take that tree to do our ditch properly. And
I did a bunch of work on that, groundwork on tree removal. I've got a lot of stuff. We could put together an informational thing that you could hand the landowner.
that would be really nice.
Yeah.
Let's add it to the list.
What
Yeah.
we're able to do and, you know, just summertime when we do this work with only so many days.
Yeah.
And to fool around with, and again, working within our right of way and
Yeah,
not having to deal with
just being clear.
just right.
Yep.
So this is our rights.
What are
I
your
don't have a
rights in the
problem,
right of way?
you know,
Yeah.
working with people and, you know, I want to work with people, but I want to be able to do progress and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
not have to, just have something that we can give somebody.
sure.
Okay, we're gonna be working in a 1.5 mile section of this road. Go to those landowners, here's what,
Here's our policy for right.
here's what we're planning on doing. This is our policy within the right of way. So if you see that we've dug a ditch or you see that we've cut trees or limbs or whatever, you know, we're getting a lot of places where I'll bring up our settlement again, but lilac bushes right along the edge of the road and they're all coming into the road and it's like the roads are going like this. So we want to get the roads
That's a good idea.
back where they
Mhm.
need to be because they're dangerous.
Yeah, and just being clear that it is, there's a policy, it is not like, it
Well,
is
it's-
uniformly applied. and
It's state
there's,
law,
right,
so
yes.
I think stating the statute, like tree removal, ditching, maintenance, all those things.
Mhm.
And then don't forget, some of these roads we actually own in fee title, so all bets are off. So,
Again, I
Okay,
want to
well,
be, I still want to
yeah.
be good about it. I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah,
just.
no.
well, no,
have
if we,
back-
if we
I wanna
own
have
it,
backup.
if we own it right away, that's very different, so.
All right, we'll put it on the parking lot
It's on.
for future.
Okay.
Great idea. I'm just gonna try to push this along. I'm not doing a very good job keeping this.
So we
up.
had a lot of items there. I feel like this was good to like get this all like down of the things you want to get to.
Okay, we'll just keep adding to the parking lot over time as things come up. Okay, that brings us to closing public comment. We're 15 minutes late, but it's here anyway.
Just a guideline, just a guideline.
It's a guideline.
It's a guideline.
So no one online for the public.
All right, let's close public comment. Next is reviewing warrants and minutes.
So I think the only set of minutes you can approve is the March 4th, and that's the only copy I gave you because
Okay,
you don't have a quorum for the other.
all right, I'll make a motion to approve the March 4th meeting minutes. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0.
Just to note, even though we can't vote on the notes from February 26th,
Okay.
the attendance shows that Bob Stone was both present and absent.
Okay.
Good to know.
So. just,
Pretty talented.
Good to know.
He's a multi-talented man.
Fix that.
Warrants, I'm gonna make a motion to approve payroll warrants for March 12th, 2026, in the amount of $19,313.64. Second, is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes carry 3-0. Next is warrants. Check warrant report for March 9th through March 12th, 2029, in the amount of $49,377.29. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? The ayes carry 3-0. That's it for warrants, right?
Yes.
Okay, next on our agenda is member items, correspondence, and announcements. I have two things for member correspondence or just correspondence. Rick Hay reached out to me by email. He just wanted to give a suggestion on an approach to take up the benefits and employee sharing of costs for benefits. And I took his email and I sent it to the committee, to Maureen and Dan, to take a look at. So people are still thinking about that item. And the other correspondence is the Paul Roos email. Do you want to summarize it or?
Yeah, basically, so the CSWD, Paul's one of our representatives from Underhill, Dan's the other, and they're in the process of building this new MRF, they call it, acronym for, I'm not sure what it stands for, but big recycling
Manufactured
center.
recycling?
Yeah.
Or regardless.
So-
Mighty big recycling.
Big
Mighty big.
big facility, and the contractor, well, or who they thought was the contractor, submitted an invoice, 2 invoices for $1.5 million apiece. Turns out that it was a fraudulent attack. So that money is somewhere. So Paul reached out to me this morning, just happened, I think, yesterday. So there's an email in my inbox, and I gave you a copy of it there, and I forwarded it to you all. So I think Patty suggested that, we should get some feedback from, I think give them a few days here. The FBI is investigating it and everything else. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But it's just a big wake-up call. And I don't know if you read the news article, but Sarah Reeves, she's the director, and she's, it was so real, and the address was so real that it could happen to anybody. And it's happened here, but it's quite obvious when something comes in. What's the popular thing for people to do? And we've since remedied that by redacting personal emails and information. But when Maya puts together a packet, for example, for the Development Review Board, there's contact information on there. So we redact, and I've been redacting for the past year or so here, any kind of contact. So when you see an email that's in the packet and it looks like it has people's names, I've taken the protection off of that, so you can't hover over it and get someone's email. So even though it shows up, it's not there on a PDF. So, but what they'll do is they'll know that there's been a DRB hearing. They create a fake invoice that looks like on town letterhead, and they email it to the applicant, which they got the email address off the application. So usually the applicant has already paid or knows that, hey, this looks kind of suspicious because they put too much wording in. It's obvious. But we've had that happen twice. We've also had, Jennifer's has instances where she gets an email from an employee, like from a personal address or something, saying that they want to change their account where the check goes into. That happened. One was very real. And luckily all those were caught. So it happens.
Yeah, it'd be great to hear from Chittenden Solid Waste District in a couple weeks.
By next
Find
meeting,
out what their next steps are going to be and what the remediation efforts will be for taxpayers. Because all the towns in Chittenden County are going to foot that bill.
one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Next meeting is March 26th. Is everybody able to make?
I'm assuming Dan will be back by then.
I think so.
I think it was 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah.
With that, pretty close, we caught up, 7:05. Let's make the motion to adjourn.
I move we
It's gonna be,
I will
adjourned.
second.
Excellent. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous.